So this is my video for the August 2022 Fairfax 2 gun, and be weird, I decided to actually use normal guns, or as normal as I can get. It's my CZ Bren 2 and a P10C with an RMR on it, because I was actually trying to do as well as I could just to see what that is, and it turns out to have been really quite well. It turns out that practicing with subpar guns and then going to actually your good gear, even if you don't practice with it all that much, turns you into a better shooter. The first one, sorry I skipped over it, was just a weak side Texas Star while you were holding a kettlebell in your other hand. And of course that was cake. This one I decided to affix the bayonet because I knew long range distance wasn't a factor of this, but you have to start condition 3, which of course I forgot about. You had to move that kettlebell between the two positions. You engage some rubber balls with the rifle, and then steel plates with the pistol. I think I went 3 for 3 on the pistol. I could be wrong. I might have missed once or twice. But the balls seem to have given a lot of other people trouble. I guess not knowing holdovers or just not having a steady position while standing and shooting offhand. They introduced a kettlebell just to make going back and forth a little bit harder, but I don't think it was that big a deal. Honestly, the rifle shooting on this stage seems to have been the hardest thing. I didn't mind it so much, but seemed to have gotten a lot of people. And then the 3 plates, obviously with the red dot, is just really, really easy.
All right, are you ready?
This is probably the second most difficult stage. It's just a VTAC drill where there's a plate at 100 yards away from you, and you engage it twice through each of the VTAC ports, 7 of them except for the lower 2 on the left that are the smallest ones. Now you'll see I started shooting this stage with the red dot because I thought it was only 100 yards was close enough I could use just the red dot, but the color of the target and the berm meant I had a hard time actually seeing it. I definitely need a new prescription for my glasses. So I flipped over the magnifier and then I was able to see it much, much better, and as you see, just get really quick double taps on it. I should say you're supposed to hit it twice from each of the VTAC ports. So this one I thought I hit it and started to move, but I didn't actually need to get one more shot. And then this one is the easiest low port to do, because even if you have a long magazine like a 30 rounder, it's still really easy to get a pretty low position. Now a quick note on that is that if you're on one of those low ports or the sideways ports, it helps to roll the gun, not try to roll the gun into a proper shooting position, but to turn it away from your shoulder, because that makes getting into the eye box of the optic easier. Now for this one, there were 3 steel torso plates at about 100 yards, and you just had to move between 3 separate shooting positions. There were 2 barrels and then 1 cone in the middle where you had to go prone, and between each of them you had to go under those indicated wooden planks. And there was also a mandatory reload at this 3rd position, which I flubbed. You're supposed to retain a partial magazine. And of course, in the hurry, I just threw it away, and to avoid a penalty, I ran forward to go get it. Pulled another magazine out of my chest rig. It wasn't that big a deal. I decided to just shoot offhand because I'm going to be moving pretty shortly. And I missed a couple times just because it's... I mean, there's a reason we call it awful hand. And there's another little hiccup that you'll see. It's not at this transition, but it's at the next one, where you'll see I have my sling still attached to the rifle, and I didn't really use it throughout this whole event except the first stage, because you had to have your rifle with you at all times while you were shooting, so I just had it slung. This one, it's right here. Yep, I stepped on the sling and almost fell over my own rifle. So a friend of mine was shooting with me, and he very wisely saw that and decided to take his sling off his rifle for his run because you didn't need it. And that meant I got 5th out of 54 overall, and I didn't actually get 5th in any of the actual stages. I was just really consistent throughout the whole thing, and it ended up just aggregating to 5th place. So that just goes to show that even with you using normal gear, or what's normal for most people, not for me, turns out you do really well.